Hey, are you subscribed to my new channel, Feminine Strategy and Lifestyle? Subscribe now for one-of-a-kind content on femininity, leveling up, and dating. The link is in the description box. So in this video, I want to share another unpopular opinion and talk about Lana Del Rey's Instagram post that has some black women in their feelings. So I'm not going to read this whole thing. You guys can pause the video if you need to. But on Instagram, Lana said that she had a question for the culture. And in a nutshell, she asked that since Doja Cat, Ariana Grande, Cardi B, Kalani, Nicki Minaj, and Beyonce, since they all have number one songs selling sex and people are basically calling it empowerment, can she go back to being her delicate, submissive self without being attacked by feminists and being accused of glamorizing abuse and setting women back 100 years? And she went on to say that there has to be a place and feminism for women like her who are soft and submissive and traditional. And she also said that she paved the way for other women to sing vulnerable, sad girl music. And I don't know about that, but I do have to say that I agree with a lot of what she said, which I'll get into in a minute. But black women aren't too happy about this. And they were saying, oh, well, why did you only mention black women and women of color? And what do you mean there's no space for women who look like you in feminism? You absolutely have a space in feminism as a white woman. So then she responded clarifying that. And she said, what I meant when I said women who look like me is women who are more delicate and not so strong or smart or who appear not to be in control in their relationships. And so that wasn't well received either. And she made another post doubling down again, saying that she remains firm in her stance, and people who are trying to make this a race war are Trump Pence supporters and hyper liberals, or, you know, the blogs that like to take headlines and twist stuff around. And she said that it says more about other people than it does about her if we're making it about race. And she continues to reiterate her point about modern feminism not making room for fragile, softer, more submissive women. So people still weren't having it. So she came back and doubled down again in a video response. And I'm not going to play the video here. You guys can go listen on her Instagram. But in a nutshell, she was pretty much trying to prove that she wasn't racist and she was an ally to the black community because she supports reparations. And she said that she admired all of the women that she mentioned. And she talked more about modern feminism and how softer women like her are shunned and how she had good intentions, but other women and men hate her and they try to take her down. And she said she is not the enemy and she is not racist and nobody's going to tell her story but her. And if you didn't like her post, then you can F off, okay? So Lana is not backing down. She said what she said. And a lot of black women aren't feeling it. And I get it. You know, I do think that Lana has the right to complain about people unfairly criticizing her work. But I also think that what she did was very tone deaf. I do feel like there was some subtle internalized racism and white woman entitlement seeping out. And I do think she was acting like the typical white woman who wants attention because she felt like she wasn't getting enough. That's how it came off to me, okay? Even if she didn't mean it to come off that way, that is how it came off. But I don't expect anything less from a white woman. And I'm going to get into that in a second. But, you know, it did somewhat come off like she was attempting to, you know, take back her throne as a white woman, so to speak. You know, her delicate white woman throne away from these strong, masculine women of color. That is how it came off, even if she didn't mean it that way, okay? And I do think it was arrogant of her to say that she paved the way for her kind of music. And a lot of you guys know I'm a huge Lana Del Rey music fan. I love her music. Love it. But that was a stretch, girl. That girl, it's like she just should have just not did this. You know, it was a really bad look. But like I said in my video about Doja Cat, most of the women she mentioned either aren't black or look nothing like the women who are jumping up to defend them against Lana. So black women attacking Lana on behalf of culture vultures or women who are erasing them is totally counterproductive. And I need black women to understand that. Now, Meg Thee Stallion is up there too, and she is the exception. She's not light skinned. She's not racially ambiguous. But as one of my subscribers pointed out on Instagram, she constantly refers to herself as a red bone. So even though I like some of her music too, two, I don't think she deserves a cape from dark-skinned women either. Again, black women, you can enjoy people's music, but you don't necessarily have to cape for them, okay? And this is just another situation that I don't feel is the black woman's problem. But with that being said, I will acknowledge that most people do see these women as black, all of them. Doja Cat, Cardi B, they all see them as black women. And I do think that Lana is tone deaf and speaking from a place of privilege. And even though I feel her intentions weren't bad, I don't feel she was trying to be racist. I don't. You guys can say otherwise. But that doesn't mean she's not, okay? And see, that's what a lot of black people need to understand. A lot of people, including black people, only can identify racism when it's overt racism, okay? But it doesn't have to be overt to be racism, you guys. And even though most of the women she mentioned either aren't black or benefit from their own light skin privilege, as a white woman, it's like you can't directly compare your struggles to women who have it much harder than you and who have had it much harder than you in the industry, okay? That's the same thing light-skinned women try to do with dark-skinned women. They're completely oblivious to their internalized colorism. And Lana is clearly not aware of her internalized racism, but it is definitely there. So, you guys need to get out of this mindset that if it's not overt, it's not racism or it's not colorism. That's completely false, okay? And to the women who are caping for Lana, not so fast, okay? Because if this were you and you brought your dark-skinned self on Instagram and said, why aren't there any women who look like me in the number one spot? White women who look like Lana would not come to your rescue. Women who look like Ariana Grande, Cardi B, Doja Cat, Nicki Minaj, they would not come to your rescue like that. And people will be calling you bitter and jealous and a hater. So listen, I'm not about to cape for the women Lana mentioned either, nor will I cape for Lana. Despite me being a huge fan of her music for years, she still doesn't get a cape from me, okay? And listen, jealousy and envy are very normal emotions that everyone has felt at some point in their lives. So, her being jealous isn't a crime. Her being a hater isn't a crime, but I'm not throwing out the cape for an envious white woman. It's not happening. Now, what I do agree with Lana on is her point about feminism. But if anything, she should have brought up the white feminists, the white modern feminists that have critiqued her work over the years, not the women who are on the chart. And see, that's where the racism and the bias crept out, okay? And what's irritating to me about this is her oblivious internalized racism took away from the bigger message, and it ruined a much needed conversation about how traditional femininity or a softer version of femininity is being shunned by modern feminism. That's the issue that even I have with feminism and womanism as a black woman who prefers to rest in my femininity and be softer and not be on the front lines and be a warrior, and other black women who want to be hypergamous or be housewives or stay at home moms, they feel the same way. That is looked down upon in modern feminism, but Lana ruined the opportunity to discuss that because her privilege blinded her and she's stuck in her white woman princess. My plight is the only plight that matters. Well, what about me? I'm a poor, poor white woman, even though I'm still the standard of beauty and the standard of femininity and softness. Modern white feminists hurt my feelings, so I'm allowed to cry about my pain too. I don't care what those colored girls went through, She's selfish and she's entitled, okay? She's in princess mode. And frankly, black women, I don't expect her to be anywhere else. She's a white woman. Her men have created the environment to make her feel like she is the only one that matters. This is her world, according to her, okay? According to most women like her, she and women who look like her deserve to be number one at all times. Not mixed women and not black women, not women of color, okay? And I'm not trying to demonize her and say she's evil or anything and that this was intentional. But a lot of things don't have to be intentional for you to, subconsciously feel a certain way. And, I did see that coming out of her, okay? But black women, this is what exclusivity and self-preservation looks like. It's selfish and entitled. This is how a lot of white women are. This is how everybody is for the most part, except for us, black women. Now, could you imagine if more black women had her mentality? If we did, do you think we'd be complaining so much about our erasure in the media? No, because we wouldn't have that. We would be taking our throne, so to speak. We will be on there crying too. Oh, well, what about me? What about me? Me. You know? And what's really confusing to me is why black women are still trying to get white women to care about them. That part I really don't understand. And let me remind you, black women, of something. And you're not going to want to hear this, but it's true. Black women, white women as a group don't care about you. And they never will. They don't care about your black girl feelings. They don't care about your black girl tears, your black girl plight. So stop trying to get them to understand you or try to play fair with you. That is a losing battle. And I'm not saying we don't have any white woman allies out there, but most of them only care about them and their image and their plight. And yours does not matter. You guys figure this out with the feminism movement. That's why you created womanism. So it's like now you need to understand that they're still like that. They aren't changing. They're going to be about them first. That's how it's been forever, and that's how it will stay. So my question is, when are you going to jump in the game and more, what about me? Have that what about me-ism type of attitude. Like, when are you going to be more like that? And I know black women are going to say, oh, well, black women can't get away with that. We can't get away with playing victim and, making it all about us. And you're right. Collectively, we are not going to get the same response as they do, right? Y'all see the response that I get, when I'm talking about putting myself first and putting black women first. We do get a lot of slack for that. So I get it, but we're still doing it. We just have to ignore the response. And what we can do is prioritize our plight like Lana did. She's not sorry about what she said. She said what she said. She doesn't care if she's looks like a hater or being tone deaf or racist. She doesn't care about that. All she cares about is herself and her image. When will you, black women? And I'm not telling you to be evil and callous and mean to Lana or white women and not care about anybody at all. I'm just telling you to be just as selfish, just as dismissive and exclusive as white women are. Black women, we need to adopt some of this what about me-ism and this selfishness that you see with Lana, if you ask me. That's what I saw when I looked at this. And I know the immediate reaction is to be like, girl, this hating ass white girl, but she's putting herself first. She don't care. She doesn't care. So stop expecting something from white women that you're never going to get, black women. Stop being mad that they have the courage to be exclusive and selfish and you don't. Because that's what y'all are mad about, her audacity. Well, how about you get some? How about you get some audacity and entitlement, like I talk about on my second channel, Feminine Strategy and Lifestyle, which that video doesn't have a lot of views, but we need some of that, black women. We need some audacity and the entitlement, just like white women have. That's what they have. And me, and I'm a victim, and what about me, and I want the spotlight on me, and I'm a princess. I deserve to be on the throne, not them. Yeah, black women need some of that. We need some of that. Yes, we do. Okay, get on code and jump in the game. Be more like them. And I know that's probably different from everything you've heard on this topic, but it needs to be said. White women are not about to play fair with you. Mixed women are not about to play fair with you. Black men are not about to play fair with you or anybody else who doesn't look like you. They're going to put themselves first. Okay, so when are you going to play the game like they do and stop complaining? That's it. I'm done. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section, and I'll catch up with you in the next video.